Welcome to the Let's Get Vulnerable podcast. It's your host, Dr. Morgan, and I'm so excited to be here with you today. We've got a really important topic. This is probably one of the most important things that I just touch on again and again and again because it's so important and you need to hear it. So no matter where you are in your healing journey, I hope that you can take this in and feel it in your bones, in your soul. I really want you to take this in today. And if you're driving, it's okay, focus on the road, but make space to take this in. Maybe you need to re-listen to it. We're going to talk about your worthiness and we're going to talk about fear. So core things that need to be talked about again and again. And I was thinking about worthiness, the lies we tell ourselves about our worthiness in particular. And this term came to mind for me. I wrote it down on a sticky note. Worthiness dysmorphia. We talk about body dysmorphia, where you can't see your body as it is, and you have a completely skewed view of your body that's not connected to reality. I know a lot of people who struggle with that, body dysmorphia. And below that, and probably even more common, is worthiness dysmorphia, where people are not able to actually see themselves as the worthy person that they are, as the person who has high self-worth, who's worthy of great relationships, who's worthy of going after a career that you want, worthy of enjoying your day-to-day life and being filled with joy and ease and abundance. People are struggling with worthiness dysmorphia of, oh, that could happen for her, but it can't happen for me. Oh, I'm too broken for that to be my reality. Oh, this is available to so-and-so because they had a famous friend. The stories that we make up about why other people are worthy and we are not. Connecting it back to body image. Oh, she's so beautiful, so of course she's deserving of that and I'm not. Worthiness dysmorphia, putting conditions on your worthiness. So many of you have outsourced your self-worth. And I say this from a place of love and compassion because that was me in the past. When you've outsourced your self-worth, you're looking to external things to define your worthiness. You're looking at how productive and successful you are. You're looking at, oh, what do I physically look like? You're looking at how much money is in your bank account. You're looking at what other people think of you instead of what you think of yourself. So many of us, and myself in the past, outsource our worthiness and we look to external forces to tell us that we are good enough instead of taking ownership of our worthiness and feeling into the fact that you are enough. You've always been enough. You will always be enough, right? It's so easy to just get caught up in letting other people define it for you or other sources define it for you, and in telling narratives about why you don't deserve what you really want. So this is coming from a place of tough love. And I want you to know that if you have been stuck, if you've been struggling, and if you are blaming it on, oh, it's the dating pool, oh, it's just the way my life is, it's just the hands that I've been dealt, I don't get to have a partner. I don't get to have a great relationship. I don't get to build a marriage that I'm proud of, that is an example for future generations, that shows love and compassion and kindness. I don't get to have those things. I just am going to suffer. Like, if you're there, I want you to know you're not living in reality. You are in a place of worthiness, dysmorphia. I love this term. I'm just going to keep saying it. You guys should see the sticky notes on my desk, just like hundreds of sticky notes. The way my brain works, I'll have these thoughts and I have to get it down. And this was one that was starred and written in huge letters. And I said to myself, I have to talk about this. This is at the core of so many people's pain. And I get emotional thinking about it. Like, it breaks my heart to know that there's people going around that just don't realize that what they really want is available to them. And I'm an example of it. Amen. I'm an example of being able to tune in, use my pain, and heal, and shift my identity and step into the version of me that knows her worth. Did this happen overnight? Absolutely not. And I can tell you, I am completely different from even 2 years ago. Even the version of me 2 years ago, completely different today. And a big part of that is stepping into my worthiness, what I'm deserving of, my standards for relationships, for friendships, for how I do business, for the clients I attract. My standards are completely different. And I know that I am worthy of feeling good. I know that things get to be easy, that love gets to feel good, and that the better it gets, the better it gets. And I can open my heart to love, and I can open my heart to success and abundance and thriving. And that I don't have to be in a place where things are hard, and that's not what I deserve, right? So all of this, if the version of me 5 years ago, 6, 7 years ago heard this podcast, she'd probably be a bit pissed off. So if you feel a little bit pissed off, I get it. Where you'd almost be like, oh, she's just talking about like stepping into her worth, and oh, it's all this energy, law of attraction bullshit. I get it. Hey, I understand. That would have been me. But I want you to know it's so much deeper than that. And when we think about identity shifts and stepping into that version of you who you're meant to be, it's so big because it has a ripple effect into every single area of your life. And it impacts your thoughts about yourself, your thoughts about others, your thoughts about your career, your thoughts about how you fuel your body, the way you take care of yourself. Identity shifts where you're stepping into your worthiness impacts thoughts about every area of your life. Okay. What else does it impact? Behaviors in a big way. When I can heal and I can fully release my past self, and I can release my past narratives, right? Maybe for example, past narratives about getting the emotionally unavailable man to love me. And if I could just get him to love me, then I'd be good enough, right? When I can release that absolute bullshit that was unconsciously in the driver's seat, when I can release that, and then I can intentionally choose a different narrative, guess what? My behaviors change. Who I am attracted to changes. And this never gets old for me when I have women that go through the Empowered Secure Love program and they tell me, wow, there's all these amazing securely attached men I'm dating now. Where did they come from? Did they fall from the sky? And the reality is you changed. You changed your brain. You changed your beliefs, your behaviors. You changed who you're attracted to. So realizing that this deep work, stepping into your worthiness, dropping the worthiness dysmorphia, the BS narratives that you told yourself that obviously at one point came from trauma of some kind. And likely it was all unconscious. And no, it's not your fault that you developed those belief systems. However, it is your absolute responsibility to change your belief systems, to attract what you deserve and the true desires on your heart. It is your responsibility and no one else's. No one else can do that work for you. Only you can. But once you do, yes, you change your thoughts, you change your behaviors, you change the kinds of relationships that you have, and you start to experience what we call in clinical psych corrective emotional experiences. In clinical psychology, we talk about that with your relationship with your therapist. You have a corrective emotional experience. You have someone who's validating you, who's tuned into you, who can help you learn to set boundaries and communicate, right? And you have that with a therapist. But guess what, y'all? You can have corrective emotional experiences in your day-to-day life based on the new level of relationships that you attract and the new standards and new ways of being. And I am so happy to say I've had a lot of corrective emotional experiences that are way different than my past relationships. And it's not because those kinds of people went away. There's always going to be non-reciprocal, selfish, narcissistic, energy sucking people. And if you're like me, you had a couple faces pop into your head as I was saying that. All right. Like those people will always be around, but it's up to you to change. What are your belief systems, your thoughts, your behaviors? What's your identity? And how do you attract a different kind of person? So if you're stuck in worthiness dysmorphia, as in you do not see your worth, you have not been able to do the work to change things, I have so much love for you. I have so much compassion for you. I've been there. I know what it's like. And I want to tell you that even though it's comfortable for you to tell narratives about why you're not getting what you deserve, and it's comfortable for you to say like, oh, if only this was different, then I'd be worthy of it. Or if only that whatever hadn't happened to me, then I would be able to have what I want. Or if only I was younger, or if only I was older, or if only blah, blah, blah. Like, if only I lived in this part of the country, right? Like, I want you to stop telling the lies, because that's what's keeping you in that place of believing that you're not worthy, right? Like you're putting conditions on your worthiness. You're thinking that there's something off or there's something not good enough about you. If only I was skinnier, if only I was prettier, if only I was more successful, if only my parents had done a better job. Once again, it's not your fault that these things happen to you. And there are ways that we are failed by our parents, and they do the best they can, right? We are failed and they're doing the best that they can. And knowing that truth and living in reality, the rent is high in reality. One of my good friends says that, like, you have to get to a place where you say, enough is enough. I'm done with the narrative. I am worthy of what I desire. And I do desire healthy, great relationships that add value to my life, that light me up. And you get to desire that. You get to desire it. It gets to be on your heart, and you are worthy of it already. You don't have to do anything or change anything. You're just worthy of it. You are enough already. And you get to be in the driver's seat to start changing your belief systems, your thoughts, and your behaviors. And I love love clinical psychology. I love therapists. I love somebody who's going to go to weekly therapy. But I can tell you this, there's a lot of therapy out there that just does not go deep enough. This is like, what kind of mood did I wake up in today? I'm like wearing more black in my life right now. Here's a little side tangent. Wearing more black. And it's interesting. I feel like I'm stepping into this era where I'm just done caring what people think, like, at all. So you guys are gonna get like even more realist, tough love. I just don't care. This is my perspective. I understand people have different experiences. I'm not someone that sees the world in black and white. I see gray all the time. And I think it's a disservice for me to censor myself. I am speaking my truth even more boldly than I ever have. So I'm just going to say it. There's a lot of people that go to weekly therapy for 5 years, 6 years, a decade or more, and they don't do deep enough work to actually change their life. And some of that's not the therapist's fault. Some of that is the way that we are trained as therapists and psychologists to be blank slates, to not bring ourselves into the room and to just hold the space and validate and repeat back, and essentially to not be direct and call people out and give advice. Like, we are trained to be blank slates. Is there a valuable place for that in your healing? 1,000%. I love when people are serious about change. I love a combination of coaching and psychotherapy. And I've done both personally myself. Both are valuable. But being under the illusion of just going to therapy and venting for years or a decade and thinking that that's going to somehow just change your life, for a lot of people, it won't. So once again, tough love, no censoring. I want you to know that sometimes you need something that's deeper. You need something more directive. You have awareness of why you do what you do, and then you need to be told what to do differently. You need actual direction. And that's where coaching comes in. That's where the Empowered, Secure, Loved program was born from. As I was doing psychotherapy, I had private practice as a clinical psychologist, and seeing these people and realizing, oh, they have awareness, and now they need to know what to do with the awareness. And I could not show up that way as a psychologist. So I knew I needed to do something and shift a bit and create this coaching platform and program that has now grown beyond my wildest dreams. And we've helped over 400, almost 500 plus women go through our program, because it was needed. It was needed from my viewpoint because of my own experiences, right? Like, I can speak to my own time in therapy, my time having my own coaching. Like, I just know that they're both helpful. So please don't go say Dr. Morgan's bashing psychotherapy. I am not. I love it. I just know that there's also a place for more directive approaches, and receiving coaching is one of those ways. So worthiness dysmorphia, you're in this place where you don't actually see your worth. You're not in reality. You've made up lies about why you can't have what you want. Sometimes the lies that we make up are blaming ourselves, and sometimes we're blaming our environments, or we're blaming other people or things that have happened to us. And I want you to know that those lies keep you comfortable because it's scary to change. The women who go through the Empowered, Secure, Love program are brave. It is work. It is work to dig up your shit and look at it and decide, okay, what can I let go of? What needs to be healed? And the women who go through the program, they have so much respect for me because I've done that work, and I know that it's painful, and I know that it feels like you are dying. A part of your old self is dying, and you're being reborn. And there's the pain that you go through as you do this work. So some of you are more comfortable believing lies about your worthiness because then you don't have to actually do the work of where did those lies come from and how can I let go of them? And some of you just probably don't know how to do it. So there's also people who are like, just don't know any better. Just don't know that there's a different way of being where you get to be excited about life. You get to attract the kind of relationships you want. You get to feel good most days, right? Like you get to have a great life with high self-worth and great relationships. You know, I talk about that. It's not just okay relationships, not just good, truly great relationships. Some people just don't know that that's available, that it's real, that it's possible, right? So whatever your reason is, whether it's just staying comfortable and you're avoiding the pain, or maybe you just haven't tuned into, well, what would it be like if I stepped into my high self-worth and I knew that I was worthy of what I desired? And wow, what would that feel like on a day-to-day basis? And what would that life look like for me? Maybe you've never allowed yourself to dream it, but whatever it is, I want you to think about it. And I want you to know deep in your bones, you are enough. You are deserving of what is on your heart. It is available to you, and you can release the old narratives that are keeping you stuck in these thoughts, feelings, behaviors. You can release those old ways of being, and you can choose again. And we get to do that over and over in our lives. So I'm cheering you on. I'm supporting you. As you know, as always, I'm wishing you high self-worth and great relationships. I hope you liked this tough love episode. Obviously, if it resonated with you, check out the Empowered Secure Love program. The time is now. Don't wait. Do the work. Don't prevent yourself from changing this now, right? You get to deserve to avoid, another bad relationship or another quote unquote failed relationship. You get to deserve to just do this work and just be done and just move on with your life. Just get into the season where you know your worthiness and you're attracting great things in your life, in your career and relationships. You deserve to be there. So don't wait on this. You are your best investment in your life. You get to show up for you, regardless of what you've been told. If you have the worthiness dysmorphia, you don't see your worthiness accurately, I want you to know, like, you are worthy of putting in the work for you and doing this work. All right. I know I already said it. I'll say it again. I'm wishing you high self-worth and great relationships. I'll talk with you soon.